Welcome to the first episode of Night Shift.
I'm Anna.
I'm Julia.
This is our channel where we're going to discuss all things paranormal, supernatural, spiritual, and mysterious.
True crime eventually.
At some point.
Anyway, and today's topic of interest is Annabelle.
The infamous Annabelle, which you have probably heard a lot about recently from TikTok,
Instagram,
YouTube,
news.
Yeah, even the news wrote articles about it because of some BS rumor that she has run away from her case to Chicago.
In Chicago.
In Chicago. They never even went to Chicago.
Exactly. And that was confirmed by the owner? Not the owner.
Yeah, the guy that discovered, what's his name? Rivera?
I thought his name was Dan.
Dan Rivera?
No, I feel like you're getting confused.
Maybe.
The geezer.
The geezer that is the caretaker of the doll.
Insert name.
Yeah, we might put it somewhere. Here.
Sure.
Yeah, can we put it there? Just so we don't seem absolutely stupid.
I can just imagine the subtitles saying no.
That's actually funny.
Anyway, so Annabelle.
Yeah, it has been on the Devils on the Run tour.
Exactly. To be fair, that's the second tour that she has, but the first one was with the Warrens. I was about to say Lawrence.
Yeah. This one's not with the Warrens. They're dead now, so basically they do whatever they want with her.
Well, it's speculated that apparently more things are actually happening because the Warrens are with her this time. Or at least one of the Warrens isn't with her this time. I don't know how the first one went. Anyway, Annabelle, you may know her from the Conjuring universe.
That's where you probably know her from. That's what I know her from. For sure.
Same.
Yeah.
To be fair, you introduced her to me, told me to watch the movie, and I watched halfway.
The Conjuring was better.
No, Conjuring was much better, and it told the actual story of it in the beginning, so...
Yeah. So it works out, more useful than Annabelle in that sense, if you want the credential. But, it is a movie, it is fictionalized, even if some things may be real, it's still a movie, okay?
To begin with, Annabelle was given to... What's her name? Donna?
Donna, yes.
She was given to Donna as a gift from her mother. I did double check that one.
Yes, it was from her mom.
That was a second-hand Raggedy Ann doll. It wasn't new.
And it was in 1970, just for some backstory, that it wasn't just some new doll from a shop that was suddenly possessed.
Well, regardless, her and her roommate had started to experience weird things, so
Yeah.
they realized that Annabelle was missing, not necessarily missing, but she moved from place to place.
Yeah, it was...
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
sorry.
It was fairly innocent at first. For example, they would find her on the floor instead of on the chair where they left her, which they would probably, think, well, maybe we just misplaced her, like a mistake. It wasn't a lot at first.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it was obviously 70s, you wouldn't think, oh yeah, the doll has a demon in her.
Exactly, that's not your first thought. I mean, now it might be, but generally speaking, it probably wasn't.
I mean, there's so many horror movies now that, think, oh yeah, if my teddy randomly moves,
Yeah, I wouldn't even have a doll nowadays.
No, me neither. After I watched half of the Annabelle movie, I got rid of all my dolls.
You're really not making a good thingy ad for the Annabelle movies.
Because the Annabelle movies are supposedly shit and very inaccurate.
Of course they're inaccurate. If Annabelle movies are pure fiction.
Back to the backstory.
Even the doll isn't real.
Back to the backstory.
Oh yeah. Shall we cut this part out?
No.
Okay. Well, we're definitely gonna cut this part out when I ask if you to cut this part.
Anyway.
Well, yeah. But then it started to get slightly progressively worse. For example, they would find her in another place in the apartment entirely. Like in the living room instead of Donna's room where it has initially been left.
That's actually quite interesting.
I mean, yeah, it was moving on its own, which is the first stage of possession, by the way. Teleportation, I think that's what it's called.
I mean, also think about it. You hear those stories about dolls moving, you never actually see how they do. You know what I mean?
Just little Raggedy Ann doll running on her little raggedy legs.
Yeah, but then again, it's made out of cloth and stuffing. I was gonna call it wood, but it's made of stuffing.
Now that I think about it, I think it might have levitate or something. I think that would make the most sense if it has the demon. I don't think it puts extra effort into moving its little cloth legs.
That's what I mean. Like you don't see
climbing
it.
up the sofa to sit on it. I almost fell down here.
We're sitting on like, to be exact, Calyx 8 something box.
Lincoln by.
We love it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I have nothing from it, so I'm just gonna nod and smile.
regardless, didn't the girls then call a psychic?
Not straight away.
I don't know.
No, not straight away. Actually, they started finding little parchment notes that said "Help me," and it was weird because they didn't keep parchment paper in the house. So they were like, "Well, something's fucking going on here, isn't it?" And I don't know if that's before or after they contacted the psychic, but Angie's boyfriend, the other roommate's boyfriend, was attacked by the... I don't know if it was Angie's boyfriend, actually. It was one of their boyfriends.
A boyfriend.
A boyfriend was attacked by something after entering the room upon hearing some rustling noises. And he had these, like, claw marks across his chest that disappeared after 2 days. They were, like, bloody as well.
How? Like, don't get me wrong. If it was like, obviously, like in this case, it wasn't. But if it was an animal or something like that, what did see after 2 days? So it must have, like, it's obvious that it's something else.
I mean, yeah, like, you know, bloody marks like that wouldn't just suddenly disappear.
Especially in like that short of a life, like not lifespan, like time span.
Yeah, exactly. Like 2 days for like bloody marks that wouldn't even heal by then.
Exactly, you'd still have a scar.
It'd still be a scab.
At
2 days
least.
after, yeah. Like from what they described, they were like bloody. You know, right across here.
Well, regardless, the psychic that they did contact said that the doll has a spirit called Annabelle Higgins, and she basically told the nurses to take care of her, which they did.
No, I think they decided to cover because, you know, they were nurses.
Well, yeah, they had a kind heart.
Yeah.
They wanted to be nurses for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. You know, they had a kind heart and they felt sorry for the spirit, you know. It was like a 7-year-old girl.
Well,
That
apparently.
I mean, yeah, but like, you know, this supposedly the spirit of Annabelle Higgins was found on the site of the place where the apartment building was found a few years earlier.
Oh.
So like, you know, that made it kind of like believable, you know what I mean? And they felt bad for her, you know, they wanted to take care of her because it was just a ghost of a little girl, so they thought.
Well, I think it was said in the Conjuring movie, and I think that is what the Warrens actually said, that spirits can't actually possess things. I think they did mention that that's only like a demon thing.
Yeah, and like after the psychic contact, they acknowledged that something was in the doll, and then it became much worse. You know, they had like loud banging noises in the middle of the night on one of the rooms and on the other door. It was terrifying. Yeah, that's when they actually contacted the Warrens. No, they didn't know with them, but they have already almost entered through all of the stages of possession. You know, the teleportation, the doll moving, materialization. I think it was with the parchment papers, and there was the one last one. Let me just. And the mark of the beast, which was the claw marks.
Oh.
Yeah, so they say. Are these the actual stages of I swear there was something else.
No, I think there is only 3 things.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's the actual name for the third one.
It's enough, right? That basically the thing leaves. Well, I shouldn't call it a thing. The demon leaves a mark on another person.
Yeah, but I'm actually checking. No, there are 4 stages. Infestation. So like, the moving, little noises here and there. Can you just give me a list of the stages?
Or just insert them here.
Infestation, oppression, which would have been the banging, the parchment paper, and then the third one is possession, which fortunately it has not gotten to, but it could have if they have not contacted the Warrens.
I mean, didn't they try to get rid of the doll? Or is that just purely in the movies?
I don't know if it was, and I haven't found information about it. I mean, realistically, they probably might have.
Well, why would you know? Like, if you have something...
Yeah.
Like, okay, I get it, it's a gift and everything. But at this point, when creepy shit is going on in your apartment, like, I would have been it too.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, they probably did try to get rid of it. Realistically. And then, if they have, then it probably came back.
Well, in other words...
Maybe that's where the banging came from. Let me in! Let me in!
You shouldn't, you know, mimic
I
a
know.
demon.
I know, this is wrong. Cut. I'm sorry.
Anywho, the Warrens came.
Yup, and they were like, basically, no, this is not a little girl. You have been tricked. This is something demonic, basically. And it would, in time, try to possess one or both of you, who knows.
And the actual intention wasn't to, possess the doll, it was to possess one of them.
Exactly. So then, they tried to have an exorcism of the doll, but it didn't work, so they had a priest that would bless the apartment, with holy water, and they would take the doll.
I mean,
interesting thing, when they took the doll from the apartment into the car in the back seat, they were like, we are not going to take the highways because what if it causes an accident, right? And throughout the way, they were driving for like side roads and stuff like that. The brakes stalled a few times, almost causing in crashes.
To be fair, I think I heard that somewhere.
Yeah.
You told me beforehand.
Yeah, and almost causing in crashes, and only after Ed took out some holy water and doused the doll with it, only then has it stopped.
That's actually really interesting if you think about it.
The doll clearly didn't want to leave.
No, definitely not. I mean, don't get me wrong, the demon found two innocent, things that, it can possess.
Yeah.
And, the demon just being, dragged away from it.
Yeah, exactly. Their sympathy made them even more vulnerable in that sense because they acknowledged it, they felt bad for it.
No, 100%.
They basically admitted that they literally allowed the spirit of Annabelle Higgins, not of the demon, they thought it was Annabelle Higgins, to stay. Yeah. They gave it consent, which, wouldn't have led to pretty things if they have not contacted the worms. Or so the story goes.
Yeah, now to present day, she's Annabelle though.
Yeah. That's interesting. What makes you want to take this on a tour?
Exactly. It already went on one, it doesn't need another one. No, but to be fair, they only did the tour so that people can, kind of interact with her, so, they get a chance to see her. But why would you want to go and see her unless you're, doing paranormal investigating as a career? Or, even for, a channel.
Some people, they're, actual, kind of like us, the paranormal booth type of thing. They want to see this stuff. I have seen pictures of people just shamelessly taking picture of Annabelle in her case. I wouldn't want that in my phone, or in my experience, or in my memory, personally.
Even us, we are interested in paranormal. We felt, saw things, heard things. A different video. Anyway. This should come in the future.
Link in bio.
Not yet.
Sorry.
That's fine.
So, yeah, you're right. I am so sorry.
Anyway, but we had the conversation the other day, the day before we decided to do the podcast thingy channel.
Yeah, all 22 hours ago, by the way.
Even we said we wouldn't want to, go see her.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I don't want the bad juju.
Yeah, if it came to the UK, I am going as far away from it as possible.
Exactly.
I don't even want to be in the same city as her, to be honest. No, thank you. Because it's whenever, there has been bad things happening, especially in New Orleans, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, where the plantation was burning and the prisoners escaped, right?
I think they only captured 2 of them.
Oh, they captured any of them?
I think they captured 2. I think it was 11 total.
Yeah, 10 or 11, yes, you're right.
Regardless, I think some of them were captured for
Yeah.
Yeah, but then again, you can call it a coincidence.
Yeah,
it can, but you can't.
It could be a coincidence, it could be. But again, it's important to note that nothing happened in previous places that they've been to. I think they've been to 3 or 4 locations before that.
They went to 3 and they're planning to going to Gettins.
Yeah, so we'll see if something happens there. I think it's Gettenberg.
They're going somewhere.
Yeah.
Regardless.
But yeah, so it's interesting that nothing happened in previous locations. New Orleans is such a city with so much energy because it's kind of first of all, it has a very rich history, right? Not necessarily good history, but it has a history. And also it's kind of known for its occult and voodoo stuff. So it's
witchy voodoo.
Voodoo.
Juju.
No, don't disrespect voodoo like this. Yeah, and voodoo, so it's a very mystical place in general. So maybe all this energy just kind of cultivated, it's kind of if you put a magnet, it's going to attract other things.
Yeah, also a frictional magnet in that sense.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, basically. Ow. I hit myself. Ow, my kostka. I hit myself.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I just hit myself.
Subtitles.
Ay, 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 ay.
Anyway.
But yeah, like all this energy cultivated in one place, it's bound to attract other demonic or just evil spirits.
I would assume so. But then again, if you think about it, since it just had, that amount of history, and you can't tell me that, the plantation wasn't haunted with the mouse that happened.
Yeah. Bad, dark history, most likely.
I'm 90% sure that there was slavery involved when I was doing my research.
Yeah.
Like with it when I was half my research was on my TikTok. Anyway.
Fair enough.
Regardless, New Orleans has a lot of history, like you already said, and it already has enough spirits, demons, and stuff like that. I don't understand how a conduit like Annabelle would attract more negative things. Like, it surely adds to it, but I don't see how, two really bad things could happen at once. Like, I see it slightly as a coincidence, because like I said, there's already enough stuff in there. Then again, I don't believe in coincidences.
Yeah. No, I do think that there's like, if it was like one thing, then perhaps.
But two at the same time.
Yeah, it is a bit suspicious considering that fact. And like as I said, like as we both said, to be honest, I don't think it was like, the literal thing that is in Annabelle that caused it, but just kind of like, the magnet stuff, bad energy pulls in more bad energy, which can cause chaos, spirits and such things.
Yeah, to be fair, I have a point there.
Yeah, like it could have, the spirit could have just like, went rampant. Is that the word? Rampant? On a rampage.
Same thing.
On a rampage.
Regardless, like, also if you think about it, when they went to the West Virginia State Penitentiary, that had 90 executions, hundreds of deaths, called, like, in terms of the inmates.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very negative place. They got another negative object, but like, that didn't do it. Like, nothing happened in West Virginia after that happened.
Yeah.
Like, after Annabelle was there, nothing else happened. Same when, that she went to Texas to San Antonio, something like that. My research was horrible.
Don't admit this. God. Yeah, but no, yeah, you're absolutely right. Also, I had a point, but I forgot what it was.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's not you. I just forgot. Oh yeah, I was like, they did it on purpose. Putting the doll in historic and negative places. On purpose. I think it just like add to the vibe.
I see why that would work. Then again, is it the smartest idea? No.
Is it a smart idea to carry around a haunted doll? Also, no.
Is it a smart idea to bring a demon on a doll?
No!
That was not fun either.
Yeah. And also, I know that they apparently carry a priest around with them all the time. It blesses them every time they move the doll. By the way, you know how it has like this protective seal on her? Mm-hmm. Doesn't it kind of break every time they open that damn case?
Exactly. Isn't the point of the seal to be sealed?
Exactly. Didn't you say that Lorraine apparently said to never open the case?
Yeah, she did, and I have an exact quote. Hold on.
You got an exact quote?
Yeah. I can't have that.
I think the guy that is now the owner says that's apparently not true. Apparently. I've seen a video of him like talking that apparently not true. It's okay, mine does too.
Anyway, so Lorraine said there's a video evidence of Lorraine saying this.
Really?
Yes, there is.
Good.
Okay, regardless, never touch anything, and if you do, let me know. The worst thing this is the worst thing in here, that door.
There you go. Evidence. Honestly, I don't even understand how a person can just like stand next to her, smile for the photo with a haunted doll. Okay, I understand, there are also skeptics that go and see her, just to prove that it's not a haunted doll, it's just a doll. And like, honestly, fair enough, people are allowed to have their beliefs, right? But I think one of the guys that is the owner of the doll, I think he said that's kind of like a Russian roulette. Like, if you had one bullet and 20 empty spirits, like, would you still risk it? Or would you just put the gun down?
Just put it down.
Yeah, exactly. Like, even if you might not believe, like, there has to be something in the back of your head that says, what if?
Exactly. I mean, obviously this is something completely unrelated, but, in a previous video of Sam and Colby, they went to see the Annabelle, you know, they open the case with the SS method that way. You know, I don't want to say like bad things happen afterwards because I'm not, you know, 100% on that. But like, they wanted to prove it to themselves. You know, in the video, Sam took photos of, you know, 3 haunted dolls. Honestly, link in bio, but should we promote them?
No, not before we promote ourselves.
Regardless, you know. I lost the plot.
No, I understand. Like, yeah, like just like bad things started happening, and like, you know, they kind of like proved it to themselves.
No, like they ended up being in a massive argument after that. Was Annabelle the primary reason? No, but she was like not. She wasn't even a stimulus. She was kind of like I don't even know, like an add-on.
Yeah, no, I understand what you mean. It could have also been like the chaotic energy of that place.
Also, like,
You know,
imagine like being like not even, like literally like 2 feet away from the door with the case being opened.
it was open.
No, yeah, it was open.
How dare they open it?
They did the SS method with the Annabelle doll being open. I don't know if they took out the case.
Kelsey Davis did not open the case. Just say.
We need to stop promoting YouTubers.
Yeah, we are promoting ourselves. Link in bio.
Back to Annabelle.
Yeah, it's like, it's just like I don't believe that even the biggest skeptics, they don't even have like the slightest little thought. What if there's an actual demon in there and it's gonna come and chase me now?
Again, would it go on its little legs? Probably not.
You know what I mean? Like an attachment.
Well, no, yeah, 100%. Experienced demons, they can attach / possess anyone if they really wanted to.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't choose to. Us.
Oh, okay.
Us. Us.
Yeah, what about us?
Like hopefully they don't choose to possess us.
Sorry, listen, I wasn't paying attention.
Of course you weren't.
Anyway. Annabelle.
Like, yeah, so we're gonna see if anything does happen in Gothenburg.
Yeah.
If anything else happens.
To be fair, they did only go to 3 locations that they confirmed like the dates of.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to confirm the last location and like locations to come. It's like, is that kind of saying, is that 3 locations too much? You know, they only went to 3, but is that too much already?
Maybe.
Sorry.
No, keep going.
If a plantation can supposedly burn because of a demon and prisoners escape, like that surely has to do something to it.
Yeah, like, yeah, exactly. Like, I don't. It's just weird, you know. There's a lot of chaos that seems to be going around, which could be explained by this, you know, demonic energy, evil.
To be fair, you know how you before said like, you know, where would you take her on another world tour?
Yeah.
To be fair,
It's not world tour. It's only the US. Honestly, thank God.
on the tour, regardless, I think, you know, again during my very shitty research, I did find out that supposedly they're doing it for publicity in terms of they're trying to promote the last Conjuring movie.
Yeah, you know, I was gonna get to that as well. Yeah, because it's coming in like, when is it?
September.
Yeah, in September. Like, they are 100% kind of like trying to promote this, you know. Maybe they didn't expect that some stuff would actually happen. Maybe they didn't. But like, and more stuff still could happen. The tour isn't over yet. But yeah, like, imagine this name. Devils on the Run. That is such a publicity type of, you know what I mean? Like, it's such like a marketing name.
Also, if you keep in mind, like, one of the Conjuring movies, literally the last one, Devil Made Me Do It.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of as well.
Direct, you know, link. Well, not direct, but indirect link to the Conjuring movie. What is the next one called?
The next one?
Yeah. The Google check.
I know, but like, it's definitely in relation to that. Like, the timing is just inexplicable. Unexplainable. Sorry.
Oh yeah, it's interesting.
But I see the wrong word.
The Conjuring The Mask Rites.
I don't like the name.
Doesn't mean like the movie.
Yeah, I might like the one I'm saying. I actually didn't enjoy Devils on the Run. I think the story is BS.
You're talking about Devil Made Me Do It?
Yes, sorry. I'm thinking about The Devil Made Me Do It. I didn't like it.
You didn't?
No, I've seen
We seen it together?
Yeah, we went to the cinema together to see it.
You said that you didn't mind it.
I didn't mind, but I didn't like it.
To be fair, I remember I showed it to you because there was more of a romantic plotline between Ed and Lorraine. I don't know if you can remember it.
Kind of. Honestly, the movie was just not memorable to me.
I preferred it more than the second one.
I liked the second one.
That's the thing, my favourite one was obviously the first one.
Of course. Like, I just in general think that the devil made me do it story, like in real life, was pretty much bullshit.
You think about. I forgot his name.
I don't think he was actually possessed. I think it was just an excuse. I do believe in the paranormal, but I do think that you have to look at things with a healthy dose of skepticism as well.
Then again, I swear there was something that they couldn't prove exactly, and that's why they did say that he was possessed and only got 5 years.
No, he still got sentenced anyway.
He did get sentenced, but it wasn't, the full sentence that you would get if you kill someone.
Yeah, but the thing is that even in Vatican, when you say that you are possessed, if they have the claim going on that someone is possessed, they send psychologists and psychiatrists to work with them to see if it's a mental illness, because 9 times out of 10 it's not an actual demonic possession, it is a mental illness. So it's from what I've seen of this case, I don't think it was actual demonic possession. Maybe he was unwell, maybe it wasn't, cold-blooded murder, but I also don't think it was possession.
Yeah, but then you say, he was unwell, but afterwards when he did come out, nothing of that sort happened again. Would you not think that if he had a mental illness, would he not do it again?
I think it depends if it has been managed.
I don't think they're going to give him psychiatrist.
But are you talking about the movie only, or are you talking about the real case now?
Well, right now I'm kind of in the spectrum of both.
Yeah, wait. Let's actually well, maybe not now. Maybe we can do another episode about all of the Conjuring films and the real cases and all that stuff, because it is a long topic, but it is very interesting as well.
Same as I wanted to mention the warrants thing, at the end of this video. That's a way longer topic.
Yeah, that is another topic in itself. I think that would be our longest video ever if we did that.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, about the warrants. There's a lot to unpack there. Whether you like them or you don't, there is a lot to unpack, regardless.
Yeah, but to summarize Annabelle, it wasn't the best idea to take on a world.
Yeah, and again, this very commercial title, Devils on the Run, which seems to be connected with The Devil Made Me Do It.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like they're trying to promote the movie, which again is kind of, I don't want to say it's disrespectful to the, the evil that's in the doll, but it kind of has a different kind of intent.
Yeah, but then again, if you are disrespectful towards, the demon, you get disrespect back.
Exactly, it might be sealed, but the seal is slightly broken every time they take it out and they put it back in and they put the seal on over again. I don't know.
Yeah, but you're still provoking.
Yeah, exactly. You're provoking them. And even in the original case of Annabelle, there was this priest that has made fun of Annabelle in front of her when she was already in her case, and he got in a car accident on his way back on the same day, supposedly. Yeah, supposedly. I think he made it out alive. I think.
I mean, I hope he did.
Let me just double check this, because I don't wanna disrespect a human like this. But yes, and as that I now checked, the priest did not die, but he was in a near fatal car crash. That's basically it.
I think it's a wrap for today, guys. Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, and would really like to hear what you guys think. I know we went maybe off the tangent at some points here, but the general talk points.
Seems like
Exactly, it's our first video. Okay, it's gonna get better with time. But yeah, we are really interested in what you guys think. So please let us know in the comments.
Exactly, and if you liked the video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe.
And we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bye bye.